The next episode in the first series of Doctor Who, written by Russell T. Davies, was Boomtown. And I'm probably going to get a lot of thumbs down on my review of this episode, because to me this was the most disappointing episode of the first season of Doctor Who that I'd seen. I mean, it was, the whole tone of that episode was just so passive. I mean, it was just like, there was absolutely no action in that episode except, like, the only two action sequences in that episode were at the very beginning of the episode, whenever they were chasing, what's her name, through the street, and then, like, right at the end of the episode, you know, whenever they had that big earthquake or whatever it was, you know, and whatever it was, you know, and just, like, there was this long, drawn-out scene in that episode where the Doctor was having dinner with the antagonist of that story, you know, and it wasn't just like, you know, it was one quick scene, you know, and whatever. I mean, it went on and on and on, you know. It had to have been at least 15 to 20 minutes of that episode was in that restaurant, you know. It was that scene, and then the other half of the episode, like when we weren't watching the Doctor deal with this alien, the other half of the episode was Mickey all upset because, you know, Rose won't stay with him, you know, and that's, I mean, it's just weird, you know. I know this is only fictional, but I mean, I can relate to where Mickey was coming from, because I thought that was kind of messed up on Rose's part, you know, because she's been with this guy for, you know, I don't know how long they were going to get together at the beginning of Rose, but she just completely blows him off to go fly away in the TARDIS, and then she falls in love with somebody else, you know, and then that was, I mean, and then, like, she doesn't even, like, you know, it's just like, you know, she was just kind of leading Mickey on, you know. Mickey was just kind of like, you know, he was just kind of like a temporary, he was like second best, you know, like when she wasn't in the TARDIS flying off with the Doctor. It was just like whenever she come to Earth, she'll catch up with Mickey, you know, just when the Doctor's busy fighting off bad guys, you know. And I just like, and then that, to me, that whole Mickey and Rose trying to work out their personal relationship problem should not even be in an episode of Doctor Who, because that has absolutely nothing to do with Doctor Who. That is not, I mean, honestly, what did that have to do with that story? Why did we have to sit through that? I mean, nothing related to Rose's personal life has to do with what that story was supposed to be about. And it was supposed to be about the Slovene making another attempt to take over London, you know, because we'd already dealt with them once before in Aliens in London, and she was trying to make one final attempt. But I think she was the only one left, you know. Then we had this long, sad story in the bathroom where, you know, that Slovene, she was the only one left, and she had lost her family, and blah, 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 you know. And it was just, look, to be honest, I'm going to tell you this, anytime I talk about Boomtown to anybody, any of my friends or whatever, or fellow fans, I describe Boomtown as a radio show, because that's pretty much all it was. It was just people sitting around talking, is all it was, for 45 minutes. You know, and it's just like, to me, that was just it was almost like there were 13 episodes in the first season. 12 of those are ones that they actually put effort into, and then the other one, Boomtown, is just something that they just kind of threw together really quick, you know, to fill up 45 minutes worth of space. You know, and it was just like, to me, it just wasn't, I mean, it did not at all feel like an episode of Doctor Who. First of all, you know, it was, but I think mainly because of that, it's just because of all what was contained in the story. You know, I mean, if Russell T. Davies would do like Stephen Moffat does, and just focus on one particular plot, you know, which would be the Slovene trying to make another attempt at taking over the world. If he would have just focused on that one thing, it probably would have been okay. It probably would have been an okay episode. But no. Anytime Russell T. Davies writes an episode of Doctor Who, in addition to Cybermen marching over the face of the Earth, or aliens trying to take over London, or birds not being able to fly through the sky because the Daleks are taking over airspace, in addition to all that going on, we've got to have all these subplots going on too. We've got to figure out what's going on with Rose's personal life, and then all these teeny boppers, all these teenage females are glued to the screens, not because London's about to get taken over by an alien, but because Rose is about to decide between Mickey and the Doctor. You know, and to me, that's utterly ridiculous. Why? That has nothing to do with Doctor Who. That is not what Doctor Who is about. You know, if you want to figure out, if you want to watch something where you have to deal with soapy love scenes and troubled couples with relationships, that's why you watch One Tree Hill, or Beverly Hills 90210, or Party of Five, or Dawson's Creek. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Or your daily soap operas. That's why you watch that. That's not why you watch Doctor Who. That's not what Doctor Who is about. You know, that's you watch Beverly Hills 90210, and you expect that because that's what that TV series is about. You know, but when you watch Doctor Who and you see that, it irritates me because that I don't expect to see that in that kind of TV series. That's not what that show is about. You know, why is this being included? I mean, it's just like, and then once again, we're back in London again, you know, and it's just like I was explaining in another video that, you know, the whole, anytime that a story gets set in London, you know, Rose is so caught up, somehow Rose is so tied up in that story, you know, it's just unbelievable. And I know that she lives in that town and everything, you know, but like in the original series, you know, like the Fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, when Sarah Jane was his companion, you know, they went all over the place. They were in modern day Earth numerous times, you know. But you know, Sarah Jane was never bumping into her family or anything like that, like Stones of Blood, Robot. Let's see, what's another one? It was the Terror of the Zygons. You know, I mean, I could go on, you know, about that. But you know, he didn't have Sarah Jane hooping and hollering and whining and crying because the Doctor wouldn't take her to go see her family. You know, that's because that was not what was important in that episode. That's not what was important. What was important is that the Zygons are about to take over. You know, or you know, there's this giant, huge robot marching over London. You know, and the robot was Tom Baker. You know, so I mean, honestly, I mean, just put yourself in their shoes for a minute. I mean, if just for the sake of the moment, you got up in the morning, you looked out the window, and there was this 150-foot robot standing outside your apartment or your house. You know, just squashing people going out the street. You know, are you gonna be worried about what your boyfriend's doing right now? You know, or are you? Let's say that you happen to be in the middle of a situation where you were trying to decide between two guys or two girls. Is that gonna be foremost on your mind right then? No, it's not. You know, you're going to be running like hell. You're going to be running and screaming and trying to figure out what's going on. You know, so that's, I mean, honestly, I'm probably going to get a lot of thumbs down for this because, I mean, it's just like, it's not a very good review of Boomtown, but, I mean, it's the truth. You know, that's what that episode was about. That whole story was not about Doctor Who. It was about bringing the viewers that watch for David Tennant, Christopher Eccleston, or that watch for Billy Piper or Rose Tyler. It was to bring them up to date on the characters' personal lives. You know, so it had nothing to do with Doctor Who. So sorry guys if y'all hate me now for my review on that episode, but that's my opinion on Boomtown.